It's finally time. I told you guys that my local game shop had trouble having the stocks that he pre-ordered. This is now fixed. My store has received all the stock that he ordered, and so I was able to pick up my pre-orders from the shop. And for the inconvenience that this caused, my local game shop also gave me 3 pre-release packs. So we also have that to open, but since I'm kind of stupid, yesterday when I got home, I was so excited. I already opened one before thinking that I should open this in a video. And so from that first pre-release pack, I got Garp and Shadow Asgard, which is pretty cool. It's yeah, over here seems to be the sweet spot. That camera is not autofocused, so yeah. Hold on, let me switch quickly to the other one. There, that's gonna be way better. So I had Garp and Shadow Asgard with the super cool pre-release stamp, and I was thinking before getting my hands on OPO6 that Shadow Asgard was actually a very cool card, and having it as pre-released is kind of sick. So there you go, that was the first pre-release pack that I've opened, and I'm gonna keep the other ones to open with the other product. So let's start off today with the simplest of those products. That's gonna be the starter deck. So let me pick just one. There you go. Let's open these up. Still with the ugly plastic inside. Really, Bandai, this is a weird choice of yours. This was way better when it was cardboard. Let me put that on the side. As usual, you got your play sheets with the basic rules of the game. And let's open the starter deck. And you get also your obligatory 10 cards down deck, of course. You need those to play, so... And we start off with the leader, the dual leader, Zoro&Sanji. It's a very cool card. The effect is down X1 when attacking. Once per turn, you may return one of your character with a cost of 2 or more to the owner's hand. Then you can set up to one of your character with 7k power or less as active. So you get restand ability with that, as well as you can recycle some of your local cards with your own play effect. And I made my analysis on the deck a while ago, so you can go check it out. It's a very interesting deck and a very cool one. Actually, I'm gonna go so you can understand the deck. So you can return up to one character with a cost of 2 or more to the owner's hand. So I'm skipping through the deck. The only cards you cannot bounce with that leader is literally just the Elephant Tuna Bluefish. The Elephant True Bluefish, which, let's get this out of the way right away. It's a basic vanilla card. It's a 1k, 3k power, 1 cost 3k power, with a counter of 1000. There's not much to say about that. You cannot bounce this to your hands, but everything else you will be able to bounce to your hands, and you can set up to one of your character with 7k power or less as active. So the only cards in this deck you cannot naturally restand is going to be no one. Every card in this deck you can restand. And don't forget that starter deck, they're just the basics of the games, and you can totally like customize this with booster sets and stuff like that, which we have OPO6. And if you know the 2 secret rares from this set, I made a video about them, so go check it out. If you know those secret rares, yeah, double attack with those, that's gonna sting. The next card we're gonna have is Ivankov. Of course, the blue side of the deck is gonna be more focused on Sanji, and the green part is gonna be more focused on Zoro. And we have Ivankov, 3 cost, 4k power. On play, you can reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and play up to 1 character with a cost of 2. Then you can place the rest at the top or bottom of the deck in any order. Doesn't say any order, but I feel like there's gonna be an errata for this one. And then an effect, when attacking once per turn, you can draw 1 card if you have 6 or less cards in your hand. So you get some mad draw power and you can stack the top of your deck with this. That's very interesting, and there's a lot of cards in this deck that allow you to do that. That's mainly the blue parts of the deck, because for green we got something a bit more aggressive. We got, for instance, Mihawk, 3 cost 4k power with a counter of 2000. And the non-play effect, if you have 2 or less character, you can play up to 1 Muggy Kingdom type or / attribute character with a cost of 4 or less other than Dracul Mihawk from your hands rested. But that's allowing you to play some interesting on-play effect, because you get to play this for free. And most of the green stuff in this deck are gonna be Slash or Muggy Kingdom, because you got Perona here. That's a basic that's a vanilla card. That's a 4 cost 6k power with a counter of 1000. She's from the Muggy Kingdom, so you can potentially play this with Dracul Mihawk. But if we go on the more subtle road that these cards offer, we have a Slash type here with Quina. And Quina is a 3 cost 2k power with a counter of 1000. A trigger, play this card, so if you get this from your life, can always play this. And she's got an activate main. You may rest this character and rest up to 1 of your opponent's character with a cost of 4 or less. So that's, you cannot do this with Dracul Mihawk, because if you play that Quina, you have to play her rested, and you need to rest Quina in order to activate. So I would say play this from the trigger, and that's actually a very good rest when you want to control the board with green. The rest engine has proved itself so useful over the years. For any green deck, I suggest having some rest engine. You get another Muggy Kingdom here that you can play with Dracul Mihawk. It's a 3 cost 5k, a counter of 1000, human drill. Nothing much to say about that. Good body on the board. You can play this for free using Mihawk's effect. And here we have a Slash that you can also play with Dracul Mihawk, 2 cost 3k, counter of 1000. The next one, when attacking, you can choose one of those effects, so you cannot activate both. And I'm filming this and being out of focus. So the next one, when attacking, you can choose one. You can rest up to 1 of your character with a cost of 2 or less, or you can kill up to 1 of your opponent's rested character with a cost of 2 or less. So that's of course going to be depending on what you are doing with your deck. I'm going to try to present the cards more closely to the camera, because I didn't realize that this was still a bit blurry. So the next card we have is going to be Rika. She's a 2 cost 0 power with a counter of 2000, and an on-play effect, you need to pay 2 down additionally for that. If your opponent has 3 or more life cards, you can set up to 1 of your Slash attribute character with a cost of 4 or less as active. So again, you get some restand with the green counterpart of the deck, which is very good. You can set up big attacks like that. Next, we're gonna have Zoro, the man himself, and we got a 4 cost 6k power. The next one, when attacking, you can rest up to 1 of your opponent's character with a cost of 6 or less. So even bigger rest with this particular Zoro, and it still fits the description of Mihawk, so you can potentially play this for free when you play Mihawk from your hand. And now we're getting into the blue part of the deck, and we start with Sanji himself directly. There's no introduction needed. That's a 2 cost 3k power. The next one, when attacking, if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, this character gains plus 2k power until the start of your next turn. So if you manage your hands well, not only can you constantly draw with Ivankov, but you also have a power boost with Sanji, making it a 5k for a 2 cost, so that's actually very good. Next, we have his bride-to-be, Pudding, with a 2 cost 2k power character, counter of 2000, that's always good, and an activate menu can return this character to the owner's hand. So if you need to play this in a pinch and you need somebody on the board, you can play her and be a bit aggressive with her, but then you can bounce her back to your hand and still use her as a counter. That's a very good card. Next, we have Sanji's unofficial father. We have Zeph at a 5 cost, 5k power with a counter of 1000. And on play, you can look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and place them at the top or bottom of the deck in any order. Then, when attacking, you can reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and play up to 1 character card with a cost of 2 rested. Then, you can place the rest at the top or bottom of your deck. So we still got this concept here with blue that you can stack the top of your deck and play some stuff from there rested, but you need to be wary of what you're gonna place because it still needs to fit some criteria. Here it's a 2 cost, so make sure you take that into consideration when you build your deck and with the game plan that you're gonna have. Next, we're gonna have Duval, 2 cost, 1k power with a counter of 1000. It's a simple blocker, but not so simple because it's got an on-play effect. You can look at the 3 cards from the top of your deck and place them at the top or bottom in any order. So, a blocker, that's always good, and you got deck stacking with this, so it helps the deck get a more precise dynamic when you play your other stuff. And the last character that we're gonna have is gonna be Patty and Carne. That's 2 cost, 4k power with a counter of 1000. Small body to have on the board, they're always helpful. And we just have the last 2 events of this deck. And we're gonna start with the green one, so that's gonna be Lion Strike, while I frame this correctly, and that's a main effect and a counter effect, so you can choose, you can either activate this during your turn or use this as a counter. It's still a 2 cost, so make sure you have the Dawn to activate, and you can rest up to one of your opponent's leader or character with a cost of 4 or less. So you can prevent your opponent from attacking further, or you can potentially in your turn be more aggressive and choose something on your opponent's board to rest, so he's not going to be able to defend, or maybe you can attack into that card if he just played it, so you kill in the bud his attacks for next turn. And it also has a trigger. You can activate this card's main effect. So that's a very, very, very good card. And if you play green, quite frankly, play this because you're gonna have so much board control with the rest engine, and this is just playing again into this. And full cost or lowest, quite frankly, you get already like a ton of targets for this. So I would say go for this card. It's very cool. And the very last card of the deck is Plastic Surgery Shot. That's a 1 cost counter, so you cannot play this as a main just like the Lion Strike. You need to play this as a counter, and up to one of your leader or character cards gain plus 2k power during this battle. So you get a nice decent boost, but then you can reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and play up to 1 character card with a cost of 2, and place the rest at the top or bottom of your deck. So again, the blue part of this deck is purely based on stacking up the top of your deck, and make sure you can play those key cards for free on the board. The rest is much more based on the rest engine and restand ability, where you can be more aggressive and really attack into the board of your character. But there you go guys, this is the starter deck 12, Sanji and Zoro. It's a very cool deck, but the deck in itself, all the cards in there are very useful if you play either blue or green, because you get some staples. And I know for a fact that Mihawk right here is actually one key part of a Uta deck that actually destroyed a tournament not so long ago. So that's a very good card right here with a lot of value. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the opening of the starter deck 12 Zoro and Sanji, but we still have some double packs and booster box from OPO6 to open, so subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to never miss anything geek. Bye guys.